Presentation, we have decided to investigate the relationship between the variables GDP per capita on the y-axis and CO2 emissions per person on the x-axis for selected nations around the world. According to our textbook, GDP per capita can be defined as the GDP divided by the total population as it is measured in US dollars adjusted for inflation for our example. CO2 emissions per person refers to the quantity of carbon dioxide emitted per person in measures of tons for our example. As we can see by the data on the Gapminder graph, a positive correlation has developed over time between these two variables. As GDP per capita increases, CO2 emissions per person also increases. In fact, as time progresses, the correlation between these two variables becomes stronger. The data bubbles generally move right as time advances, representing a general increase in both GDP per capita and CO2 emission levels per person for nations across the world.
To investigate why these trends have developed, it is important to understand the history associated with these variables and its contribution towards these effects that we see today. One leading cause of increased GDP per capita and increased CO2 emission levels per person is the Industrial Revolution. Spanning from the mid-18th century through the mid-19th century, this movement launched new technological revolutions that changed the world as we know it today. With the increase in production and transportation efforts during this time, the level of CO2 emissions increased drastically, as did GDP per capita levels around the world, because most nations were affected by this development. There have also been several studies conducted that link rising CO2 levels with climate-related concerns. According to an article from Columbia University, carbon dioxide levels have been rising at an incredible rate since the Industrial Revolution. This high level of CO2, they explain, has caused increasing global temperatures, leading to an increase in water temperature.
According to the national snow and ice data, the ice caps have been melting over the past 41 years. In October of 2019, 2.19 million square miles was recorded to still be ice. This is the lowest square miles of ice that has been recorded in the past 41 years. Every autumn is when the ice caps will start to refreeze and gain back their formation. Since 2012, the Arctic caps has lost over 88,000 square miles of ice. This year, when the freeze started, the freezing was located mainly north of where it normally freezes. It was located in Beaufort Sea and Leptiv Sea during the second month of the ice caps refreezing. The levels were almost at a normal compared to the previous year, except the refreezing of the Chukchi Sea. It was recorded at the lowest amount of refreezing in the prior years following. This is due to the rise in temperatures over the past few decades. The rise in the temperature is due to the amount of CO2 levels increasing each year. According to scientificamerica.com, deforestation in the rainforest contribute to about 15% of the carbon dioxide emissions into the environment. This is due to mass amounts of rainforest being cut down. Trees utilize CO2 to produce oxygen, and with less trees utilizing the CO2 within the air, CO2 emissions steadily rise. The CO2 emissions from deforestation being at 15% is a slight bit higher than the 14% of carbon dioxide emitted by all vehicles in the United States. According to the Environmental Defense Fund, there was approximately 32 million acres of tropical forests that were cut down between the year 2000 and 2009. The amount of deforestation has steadily increased and will continue to rise.
The positive correlation associated with GDP per capita and CO2 levels per person will likely increase over the future. However, with a focus on reducing our carbon footprint in transportation industries, eliminating the harmful practice of deforestation, and concentrating on the promotion of clean, renewable energy sources, the amount of CO2 levels per person can decrease. As a result, our planet will become cleaner and safer for generations to come.